Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is now 1 minute after 7:30. The notice of the annual meeting was published in May of 2019 on May 3rd in the edition of the Woodbridge Town News. It was mailed to each household where an eligible voter resides, and it was posted by the town clerk on the town signpost. I would entertain a motion to waive the reading of the legal notice.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Normally, the first order of business on the call is to elect a town meeting moderator for a term of 2 years. However, that was done at the meeting in 2018, so we will not need to do that this year. The second item of business is to consider the budget for fiscal 2020. Now, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with regard to the rules and the provision in the town charter. Everybody should have a Town of Woodbridge fiscal year 2019 to 2020 budget. According to section 6-2, subparagraph H of the town charter of the Town of Woodbridge, each and every recommended budget item shall be considered, and that the budget as recommended by the Board of Finance shall be deemed to have been appropriated unless the sum is increased, decreased, or eliminated by a vote of the town meeting with not less than 250 eligible voters present and voting, and 60% thereof required to carry any motion to increase, decrease, or eliminate any item. No recommended budget item may be increased to an amount greater than the original request for the appropriation. I am now going to ascertain whether we have the required 250 voters present. I would ask that our registrar, Alex Lexiitis, and Dickinson, please ascertain whether or not we have 250 residents of the Town of Woodbridge and eligible to vote.
We are told there are 250 chairs set up, and that the presence of empty chairs suggests that there are not a quorum. But I think if you lose this, they could break it.
Just so that everybody is aware of what we will now do, there are 250 chairs on the floor. So if there are unoccupied chairs, that is an indication that we do not have the required 250 eligible voters present. We will make sure that a full count is made. I'm told that there are rows in the back that need to be counted, and we will do that. I'd like to also inquire if there are any people seated who are not eligible to vote in the Town of Woodbridge, and if so, would you please stand down? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people who are seated but are not eligible to vote. Thank you very much. 5.
Well, you don't disagree, you just stay home. You know, if you agree to stay home, you don't. Okay, so get the other things. Because we get two
I think we could win the football game. We might. I left a message for you.
Did you? I came by your.
Yeah,
well, I was 6'5" the my 6'5" number. Did you?
Just so you know.
Sorry.
Extra.
I know. I was actually going to walk to your house today, and then I talked to Chuck. So. saw some of your worker guys coming out. They were like cutting your grass or something.
But the endless work I'm doing around my house that should have taken 2 weeks has been a month and a half.
Oh, welcome to like life, right?
They blame it on the rain. They blame it on the sun.
Yeah, of course. There's always excuses.
They're good guys. I should not.
It's sad that though if you disagree, you still.
You guys remember my wife?
Yes, I do. I was gonna say that's so good. Like you two apart. I'm like, she looks very familiar. I kept looking back.
Nights like tonight, she doesn't want to be associated with us.
Okay, fair. It's okay though. There are some nights like that. Adam might be the same with me tonight.
Come on down.
Well, so it's starting to fill in. You never know. Maybe a little longer, maybe we get 250. Start pulling people in.
I feel horrible. This is absolutely like these people feel like their voices can't be heard because it's never been heard is a complete problem. This is the problem. The problem is the fact that this
Ladies and gentlemen,
and is
the
appointed.
registrars have indicated to me that they have counted 199 people. However, one of the residents has stood up and indicated to me that people have been coming and going. And I am not going to proceed unless I am certain that we have a correct count. So therefore, I'm going to ask that the registrars recount and that people stay in their seats. And if you get up and leave, then you are abdicating your position.
What is this man?
The
What is
moderator.
that man?
The moderator.
All fired up.
We gotta have a block party.
She can lead it. He's in charge. Everybody here has their phone.
Let's record the whole thing. Like the live.
Every small town is the zero. Whenever you come to a small town, once you have that, it's right now like this. I know Bucks County
Following the recount of the number of voters, I should say residents of town of Woodbridge eligible to vote, we have a total count of 203. We are 47 short of a proper count of people. Since we do not have the 250 people present, no action on the budget to increase, decrease, or eliminate any item is allowed, and therefore the budget submitted to the Board of Finance will be adopted as presented to the annual town meeting. However, the town of Woodbridge encourages all of your comments on any item in the budget, and the town asks that you come to the microphone at the appropriate time to state your name and address and make your comments to the appropriate town official. At this time, I'd like to introduce our first selection, Beth Helen, to say a few words.
Thank you, Jeff. Good evening and welcome to our annual town meeting. Before I begin my remarks regarding some of our town-related projects and initiatives that we have accomplished this fiscal year, I must take a moment to thank all the citizens of Woodbridge who have taken the time to reach out to me either in person, by phone, text, or email. It's most important to hear from all of our residents.
Show some respect and keep quiet.
This is a representation.
I'm sorry. As your first selectman, it's been my honor and privilege to represent our town, and I have said many times, I believe local government at its best when it's collaborative, not partisan. I promise to continue working across the aisle to build consensus as your first selectman. When we work together, we can solve problems and enhance the quality of our life in our town. Woodbridge continues to be a wonderful place to call home. This evening, we're here to take part in one of the traditions that remind us of our community's New England founding and our rich history. At this meeting tonight, we take the final step in the process of approving our town budget for the new fiscal year beginning July 1. Our annual budget reflects our shared values, our commitments to care for our environment, provide excellent education for our children, and show our respect to taxpayers by careful budgeting and responsible spending on essential town services. An initiative I introduced as I came into the office in 2017 is a plan to beautify and make better use of our historic town center. Arden's Garden, recently completed on our town green, is a good example of what can happen when a public-private partnership takes place. Also, we continue to make improvements in the road area between the library and the old firehouse. I hope you will all come out on June 1st when multiple organizations will hold events in this area of our town center. Over the past 10 months, we have made important progress on some major capital projects. Police carports and a new radio antenna have been installed with steep grant funding from the state. A new updated emergency radio system to improve public safety is also nearing completion.
Nice to meet you.
A new ADA bathroom has recently been completed and a wheelchair ramp is now under construction at the senior center, both funded with state grants. The animal shelter renovation is also nearing completion, funded with private donations and a steep grant from the state. These projects were on the drawing board for many years, and now they're expected to be all completed by the end of this fiscal year. Another exciting new project on the horizon is a new dog park. Private fundraising for this is ongoing, and this is another example of a private-public partnership. Finally, our community places a high value on public education of our town's children, both at Beecher Road School for grades pre-K through 6 and in the Amity Regional District Schools for grades 7 through 12. Our budget continues to fund the resources that are necessary to ensure the quality of our school programs and support all the efforts of the teachers and staff members at Beecher and at Amity. Before I turn over the meeting to Tony Genovese, our Town Administrative Officer and Director of Finance, I will proudly note that Tony and the Board of Finance's work on behalf of Woodbridge has once again resulted in accolades. Both the budget award 12 years in a row and the audit award 23 years in a row. from the Government Finance Officers Association. And most importantly, once again, Woodbridge has earned a AAA rating from Moody's. This is the best rating a town of our size can obtain, and this keeps our borrowing costs down. Tony will now step us through the deep budget details. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. I just want to make a few comments about some of the changes that have taken place since the Board of Finance held a hearing on April 22nd. The first change is a $3,000 reduction to the budget for the probate court based on the requested budget by the court. The town contributes to regional probate courts consisting of the towns of Derby, Ansonia, Woodbridge, and Seymour. And our contribution for FY20 is $9,500 down, approximately $3,000 from the current year. That information came in after we set the preliminary budget. The second is a $25,000 reduction to the contingency fund in the Board of Finance budget. The contingency fund is an appropriation of funds the town uses for emergencies and unplanned or unforeseen expenditures. And the final is a budget change in addition to employee benefits, totaling $28,000 due to an increase in retirement costs, which is offset by a decrease in health care costs. All of our full-time employees are part of the pension plan run by the state of Connecticut, and this is due to a payroll match increase. So these three changes total zero and reflect information that came in after the creation of the preliminary budget. The proposed revenue and budget total for FY20 is $50,295,683, which it says in your handout. 93.9, almost 94% in property taxes. You can see there's a heavy reliance on property taxes, which is just over $47 million. The remainder is from a collection variety of sources, including intergovernmental revenue from the state, just under 2%, department charges, 1.8%, interest income, 0.6%, and other revenue sources, 1.67%. On expenses, the proposed budget is roughly 30% for the Woodbridge Board of Education at $15,201,954, 30% for the Amity Regional School District at $14,965,743, and the remaining 40% for all other town departments. There's a little sidebar. Some of the larger departments illustrated in the bar include benefits at 9%, public safety at 8.8%, debt service at 5.6%, and public works at 5%. Those are the four highest departments for the town. So your resulting mill rate is shown in the chart 40.23, which is an increase of 0.4 mils or 0.99% from the previous year. And this chart gives you a little history of the mill rates from prior years.
Thank you, Tony. Genevieve. I would now entertain any comments or questions concerning the budget. I would only ask that people who would like to make some comments step up to the microphone, state their name and address, and try to limit your comments to as much as is necessary to make your point.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Bolillo, 30 Belvedere Circle. I was here at the April 22nd budget meeting. At that meeting, several residents made comments regarding the fact that the property values of Woodbridge are declining. And one of the main reasons for that decline, and one that I also mentioned, was the mill rate. And as you can see in the last chart, I've been here in Woodbridge 10 years. The mill rate has gone up every year that I've been here. I implored you when I was here last time to try to find a way to reduce the budget and keep it under 40 billion. Our mill rate is amongst the highest in the total 169 cities and towns in Connecticut. It's a dubious distinction. And it's driving people not only away from Woodbridge, but from coming to Woodbridge. I can't stress enough how important this is, but yet you seem to just be cavalier about this issue. I don't, there's some details that are missing in the budget presentation. I tried to do a little math myself. On page 136, I believe, it shows 83 employees. I would ask if anyone can tell me what the average base salary of the 83 employees are in the town of Woodbridge.
Well, since a vote will not be taken today, the members of the panel are not required to answer your questions. However,
Over $92,000 per employee.
That's
And then the benefit.
That's like triple.
Well, if I go by your figure cost and your total payroll is about 7.8 million, with 83 employees, you do the math.
yes, Mr. Genovese would like to make a comment concerning your comments.
First of all, the FICA calculations include a lot of part-time wages, a lot of overtime, and 83 is just full-time employees. A lot of departments have a lot of part-time employees. I could tell you that the average full-time salaries, base salary, is probably this $60,000 range, that's my guess.
Well, I would ask them to clarify but either conflict.
You're more than welcome to call tomorrow, and I can certainly go over the figures.
Well, I mean, as one individual, I think the town is entitled to the information. More specifically, what is the total payroll? You can't get it in this report. What is the average salary? And then benefits. I've said it for the last 3 or 4 years that the benefits are way out of line. As a matter of fact, one of the changes you just pointed out was the benefits what I've been getting from the last April 22nd budget meeting, which is unconscionable. I don't think, I got to be candid. From my perspective, my opinion, you're failing in your duty to protect the interests of the residents of this town by controlling the budget the way you should. You can get that mill rate below 40 by just moving the contingency alone will get it below 40 million. You need to be more aggressive and you need to be responsible to the people. So just 2 things on that. More detail on payroll, average payroll, and benefits. I want to know what are your premium co-shares for your health insurance, what are your co-pay policies, because you have a very lucrative insurance policy, which is hidden from the people. Okay, we don't see that, but I think you're better than your own mess. I think it needs to change.
Thank you for your comment.
I'd like to make 3 points.
Can you speak louder? Sorry, we can't hear you.
Speak into the microphone.
Can you hear me now? Or?
Yeah, right up.
No one's ever used me not to know what I'd like to make 3 points about this budget. We have to be aware of and address the economic reality of our home values compared to our neighbors and the similar socioeconomic towns in Woodbridge, Connecticut. The mill rate is a practical and fair comparison when people look to buy a home. Here are some mill rates for the current fiscal year for area towns. Orange, 32. Bethany, 36.9. They also get trash pickup. Madison, 28.04. Guilford, 31.28. With a mill rate of 40.23 in this proposed budget for us, we are not competitive. Our home values are dropping. And anybody that wants to try to sell their home has to reduce the price of their homes to offset these high taxes. So my first point is to spend less. Second, a mill rate of 40, as dictated by the Municipal Accountability Review Board, anything over 40 indicates that the town is in financial trouble. Now, Woodbridge is not in that category because the Board of Finance continues to simply increase our mill rate and thus our taxes. And as Betsy Quist, our assessor, pointed out at the last budget meeting, that when the valuations come in, and they will soon, our homes are all older and they will be valued at less. The mill rate will almost assuredly climb even more. There seems to be no plan from our leadership to change this trend. We need to address the spending. I propose that you put a hiring freeze immediately in Woodbridge and that you reduce your budgets through attrition. That's one. Third, while spending less is a good part of the solution, we have another resource. Per the May report to the Board of Selectmen from Tony Genovese, our projected unassigned fund balance, otherwise known as the rainy day fund, stands at 11.77% of the adopted annual budget. That's way too high. We have, in essence, been overtaxing in an effort to rebuild the rainy day fund. Interestingly, in 2014 and 15, the preliminary fund report, Tony Genovese stated that the rainy day fund could be used to fund the coming budget as long as the fund budget was in excess of 7% for a variety of sound financial reasons, including our bond rating. I suggest we do exactly that. Use part of the rainy day fund for this coming year expenses. I suggest bringing the fund down to 8%, which is right where Tony suggested. That will offer some relief to this coming year and reduce our mill rate below 40. So for these three very good reasons, I recommend to everyone here, but we can't because we don't have 250, we can't vote this down. But I think that people have to really, I know that the budget is going to go through and that it's a moot point at this point, and whatever I say is going to fall upon deaf ears. But I think going forward, we really need to make some changes in this town. Or what I said before in the last meeting, and I'm not pandering to the seniors, but as the mill rates go up and values go down, less seniors can afford to stay here.
Have a response on Mr. Biglietti.
2 points, I guess, in disagreement or perhaps in the facts not necessarily reflecting the town of Woodbridge. Our grand list, as Tony pointed out in his slide presentation, is 98% residential real estate. We do not have a commercial tax base, and I don't know that we ever will. We don't have any areas that we can develop a commercial tax base. The three of the towns that were mentioned, Guilford, Orange, and Madison, have the Boston Post Road going through them, as do many towns, with tremendous amounts of commercial property, which along with commercial property, you get personal property because businesses have equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So our grand list is residential based, and the growth has been minuscule. There's really not much land to build on in Woodbridge, so there's not much area for the grand list to grow, and it hasn't grown at all this year. The second point, something that I've talked about for years, it is not good government to take money out of the general fund to lower taxes. If we were to take whatever number it is, get it down to 8%, would that be roughly 3%? $1 million? Or, yeah. If we were to take $1 million on a fund balance and lower the budget by $1 million, yes, we get the mill rate under 40. But then next year, if we couldn't replicate that, which we can't possibly take $1 million a year out of fund balance. So if we took the $1 million out this year to give the taxpayers a little bit of relief in 1 year, we would start next year with a $1 million deficit, and we'd have to make it up somehow. So that is just not good government. Using fund balance to lower taxes. If we use fund balance to buy a piece of equipment that we don't have to buy again, I think the last time we used fund balance was to buy the country club. We used some fund balance for that. So it's got to be something that you can do once and not have to do again. If you use it to lower your budget, you're only kidding yourself because next year we're going to be faced with a $1 million deficit.
My name is Hillel Auerbach at 20 Chestnut Lane, Woodbridge, Connecticut. We have heard some people saying that the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Board is somewhat derelict in their duty to control costs. I accuse the board of lack of leadership in developing additional revenue. We have a couple of proposals to increase the residential base of this town by selling off a portion of the country club property. I don't see any support from the board. They say they were studying it, we're studying. I would like to hear that they're actively promoting this concept. If we had $20 million more in the tax base at 40 mills or 35 mills, that would be a lot of money coming in every year. We're dithering. We're not doing anything to develop and increase the residential revenue base of this town. And I call upon the Board of Selectmen to be proactive in this regard.
Our first selectman would like to make some comments in response.
We have two proposals from two different developers for two different, similar but different proposals to purchase approximately a third, which was a whole total of 155 acres, and approximately a third of that, leaving another 100 acres for open space or for town use going forward. And we hope to get that to a referendum in the near future for the voters to decide regarding the Country Club of Woodbridge, which we hope to bring in.
Hi, Taylor Sanders, 44 Dillon Road. My husband and I are recent new residents of Woodbridge, and I think I want to come here, what I wanted to see was how these played out and how the town is governed. And I think the bigger issue that I see is not this budget, but is the fact that we appoint a board that we don't understand the representation of, that can say that 203 people in here are worth more than the 5 people that are on the board. So to me, just looking at it, not Republican, not Democrat, this is a bipartisan thing. And I really would be, it would be a big issue if people here were choosing their politics over what's best for this community. So all I ask, whether you're Republican, Democrat, right, left, any of these people up here, is that we look at how we're governing and how we're looking forward and how we're moving forward instead of just, I mean, taxes aren't going to solve it, right? This is a long road that we have to fix. Taxes are not going to solve it. It's $1 million to change the issue, but as a new resident, I question why I moved here. Did I make the right choice? And if I'm questioning that, we need to make sure that more people don't question that, so that we do continue to fill this town with residents. So I just ask that when you do vote, since the people here, I guess, don't have a say, that you think about the fact that this isn't about your politics, that this is about this community and you represent us. So I would ask that you vote accordingly.
How do you do? Good evening. I'm Bill Cofrancis, 37 Country Club Drive, a resident since 1962. When I moved to Guilford, I'm back because I understood Woodbridge was having a fire sale. I can't get hurt because I bought my house for 50 cents on the dollar, but I do want to just echo some sentiments. If you do want to bring the property values up, you really do need to look at the fiscal expenditures. I'm a graduate of Amity, and my class in 1981 had some of the highest numbers of kids that went to Ivy League schools with these same cinder blocks. By the way, I played the piano on that stage, and I think we all did pretty well. But I realized that Guilford is a different situation. We talked about economic development at 94%. In my last meeting last year, I said $3,500, which was going to be expended on economic development. I quoted, it was a farce, and I still believe that. So I think for those residents and those young folks that are moving in here, our kids, we're paying $16,000 or $17,000 a year in property taxes with no children here, and happy to do so because it's our decision. This place is closer to New York for us. But I will tell you, there is a mass exodus of people leaving Woodbridge, going to Guilford, going to those places. I left 5,000 square feet, 5 fireplaces, 3-car garage, beautiful estate, 6 acres, and only paid $11,000. And I respect Tony and Mr. DeGlea, what you said in terms of Route 1 having much more business and much more ability to offset property tax. But I will tell you this, I bought my house, again, like it was a fire sale, so I can't get hurt, but I'm thinking of my friends that own these multi-million-dollar houses here that they're lucky that they're getting $800,000 for. So I would think very, very wisely in your decisions, and even the school budget. If I looked at the HVAC, if I looked at the pool issues, the third-party liability that's out there that has to be addressed aggressively right now, because you cannot saddle these folks with these kinds of taxes, particularly the elderly. By the way, my mother sold her house in Woodbridge 25 years ago, $450,000. That same house, if you can get $250,000 for it now, you'd be lucky. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Silverberg from Genuine. I've got a question for the Board of Finance. At a recent meeting, there was a notation made that the Amity school system had returned something in excess of $900,000 to the town in the previous year. At that same meeting, the Board of Finance authorized believe, the expenditure of a portion of that money to cover the $300,000 feature overage, you want to say, and to purchase certain capital equipment. How much of that $900,000 is still left? And where are we showing this in the budget?
Can you give them a minute? Bro, I'm not talking about saying give this guy a minute to come up with an answer.
Tony, you got all night. Come on, man. Take your time.
There is approximately $300,000 remaining.
Okay, now Tony, may I ask you a question, please?
Yep.
I have the greatest respect for you, and you know that. On this gray sheet here, use the microphone? Oh, I'm sorry. On the gray sheet here, Tony, we have non-tax revenues. Would it not be appropriate, and please explain to me if I'm wrong here, to have included that $300,000 in the non-tax revenues, therefore reducing the amount of money that would have to be raised in taxes during this particular budgetary process?
It would be included in non-tax revenues, but it would have to be appropriated to taxes.
Then may I continue with this conversation? Why doesn't the Board of Finance consider it with a 11.7% fund balance to move the $300,000 onto this non-tax revenue and reduce the amount of taxes paid by the citizens of this town by $300,000?
That's something that they can consider.
Okay. The second question. This microphone. Yeah, I apologize. Okay. Has the Woodbridge Board of Education made any contingency, and I know it's very difficult for them, regarding the number of, a guesstimate, I guess is the word, of how many children next year might be needed for funding for special education? I do not find anything wrong with the $300,000 that has to be raised this year. I do find, I expressed to various boards here, that it was done by a bad process. But do we have any idea, is there contingency in there, or are we going to be facing a $300,000, $200,000, $100,000, $400,000 bill come this time next year?
Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment? Yes, please give your name and address.
Bob Gilbert, Superintendent for Woodbridge Future Road School District. Hi, Bill. How are you? Very good, sir. Good. So just the answer to that is that there has been a long-standing understanding and agreement between the boards that we budget for what we know. So we don't have a contingency scheduled or allotted. We are somewhat at a mercy of who moves in or who moves out, and that's how it has been up to this point and how it continues to be, because that's the arrangement that the town's boards have made.
Thank you, sir. One last comment, and I apologize for making the microphone so long. This year, it is my opinion that the process undertaken by the Board of Education, the Board of Finance, and the Board of Selectmen has been wrong. We have known for approximately 8, 9, 10 months about this overage of $300,000. I may be wrong, I may be mistaken, but in my going through the minutes of the Board of Education after 90% of the school year is over, I do not believe the Board of Education has authorized the superintendent of schools or the finance director or anyone in that administration to spend this money. And therefore, I hate to use the word, Jerry, I'm sorry, malfeasance possibly. It is wrong to spend money. I shouldn't use that word. But I would appreciate it as soon as the Board of Education recognizes next year what its obligations for special education are, that its board vote to authorize the superintendent or finance director to approach both the Board of Education and the Board of Selectmen and get the appropriate approval, whether it be by the boards or by a town meeting, for this expenditure. We cannot let the tail wag the dog. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Leonetti would like to make a response.
Just one item, Bill. Of the money we got from the Amity, okay, we did put $220,000 into this year's budget to offset taxes. If we were to put another $300,000, that would make it $520,000. And I'll go back to the remarks I made previously. We would then have to count on Amity for another $520,000 next year to keep things equal, and that's something we weren't willing to do. So we did put in 220. We were comfortable with 220. But to put another 300 in, we'd be facing that same problem.
Well, let me answer that. Do you think it's more important that they're going to increase the general fund from 11.7% to a higher number then? Therefore, it appears to me, Matt, and I understand what you're saying, and I cannot disagree with that point, but you have made the decision for the townspeople that it is more important to add $300,000 to a fund balance of 11.7% of the budget than to reduce the taxes.
It's not that it's more important, it's that we don't want to face next year an automatic tax increase before we even start the budget. We use the fund balance for valuable things. If something comes up, we have the money available to us, but,
Okay,
yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lee. So this is the first time I come.
Speak into the microphone.
This is the first time I come to this kind of voting. The fact that today so many people show up and then so many people left once they see their vote cannot be counted. That just means this vote is very important to every resident here. So I'm wondering, there is any opportunity we can have another vote on this issue, and if there is any process to have people's voice be heard. Because I think this is very important to every of us in this community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. As everyone here knows, tonight is the night, and people who are given the opportunity to vote on the budget have that opportunity by coming. We're governed by charter. We didn't make the rules. None of the people here made the rules. The rules are the rules, and the rules require 250 eligible voters in the town of Woodbridge. If people choose to leave before the count is made, that's their choice. There's nothing that anybody here is responsible for people deciding to leave.
I'm sorry, who made, I just want to ask a question, I'm unaware, so maybe you can educate us as new people here. Who made these rules? So why is the Board of Finance appointed, and why is it that it functions like this? Can you just help educate the rest of the crowd here?
Yes. So, the question is, who made the rule that there must be 250 eligible?
Well, I think my first question is, why is the board appointed, and then also where did the rule come from? Well, the board appointed has a board.
Yeah, let's be clear,
Board of
let's be,
Finance, that's correct. I'm talking about the Board of Finance. It's appointed, correct? By who? The first select?
the Board of Selectmen
Okay.
appoints a Board of Finance.
Okay, and the reason that no one can oppose what's going to take place right now is because of the 250-person pool.
We operate by town meeting. The town rules require that 250 residents capable of voting must be in attendance.
When were those rules made? And why are those applicable today? So I'm just, the reason I asked this, it doesn't make sense. So can we revise those rules? Is that something we should reconsider? I'm just trying to understand why those questions are being.
The town attorney is here and he will provide a legal answer to your question.
Sounds great.
Those
of rules are in our current charter, and anyone can get a copy of town hall. That charter, and this particular provision was probably adopted at least 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, maybe 60 years ago. And it was done to prevent a situation where a small handful of people come to a town meeting and can control the budget. And people before us made the decision that the 250 number should be the cutoff. There's always an opportunity to have charter revisions.
Yeah, maybe we should reconsider that, maybe we should.
Then as far as the elected Board of Finance, that's also in a charter. About 20 years ago, Woodbridge had elected Board of Finance members. When, at that time, both parties, the first selectman and the other minority party, which happens to be the Democrats, came together and said, it is a real burden to try and find people to run for elective office. People are unwilling to put their names out and run for election. Now, this was 20 years ago, it may be different today, but that's the reason the rule was changed to have appointed members of the Board of Finance. Again, that's in our charter, that can be changed.
I guess I would just urge people to reconsider that, considering what we just saw tonight, and considering the change in this town and the change in the United States of America right now. So I think the voice is really important, and we need to make sure we have it.
Julia, 14 Seymour Road, Registrar of Voters. Just for everyone's information, the relative town charter provisions are on page 11, 12, and thereafter in the budget book. So it's all right here.
The budget book is available for review outside in the hallway if anybody needs to get a copy.
I am Patrick Berlin. I live at 11 Ledge Road. And if the mill rate isn't as concerning to you, the fact that 250 people did not show up, I think that lack of activism by our community should be troubling to the Board of Finance. The lack of transparency might be what's driving people away from these meetings because they feel powerless enough they can't actually change what's going on in their town. So I think that the board should probably take some efforts to increase civic engagement by our citizens so that we don't have situations like this where people leaving the room because they feel like they aren't heard.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to make a comment?
Michael Broderick, 5 Old Silver. So I've been watching and living in town since 1976. I grew up here, graduated from Emory in 1980, and I have never been more alarmed about Woodbridge than right now. I currently am a veterinarian, so I have a business in town, and I bought recently a house to flip in town. And as my realtor and I were looking at what is happening in home values, it was absolutely alarming. We drove around this weekend. A house in Westward Road that last sold for $1.2 million is selling now. I mean, this should really shock town residents. $569,000. Houses on Tucker Meadow Road. So we had houses of all different ages that we looked at. Houses that sold for well over $750,000, $800,000. That house, $599,000. It is, and it's across the board. The houses in Woodbridge that seem to be selling are just lower priced houses. Well, houses, there's almost nothing over $1 million in the entire town, when we know that tons of these houses cost way more than $1 million. This board in this town is not running correctly. We need to change our charter. We need to have it where when 203 people show up to make a difference, they're voiceless now. It should be that the Board of Finance, after watching some of their meetings, I was also alarmed. I talked last time at the preliminary budget meeting about the police station. That is a total unnecessary expenditure of money. And I don't agree with Mr. Giglietti. We can update it to the state standards. We don't need to spend another $4 million at the police station. Every town resident who comes through my practice I've talked to, I have not heard one positive response about spending $4 million on the police station. people in town realize that our police force, by the way, also, having been on the zoning board, which I was, I know that Woodbridge pays the second highest per person for police in all of New Haven County. Only Orange is higher, and they have the Post Road. So our police, I'm not against our police being well paid. This town needs to start being much more austere in its spending. And on top of that, I am sick and tired of our board wasting our time about the country club. This town has gotten myopic. The $50 million project that was approved on Bradley Road, the Board of Finance and the zoning board have done nothing to work with the developer properly to develop a property that should have been developed a long time ago in a way that would have made the town a more valuable town, having a nicer business district and a senior housing, which we lack in the town. Instead, we're going to develop the country club and compete against a private developer. That makes zero sense. And on top of that, we're letting our country club building, a multi-million-dollar asset when it was originally built, go down the drain, cutting off utilities even to maintain the building. This is a building that we could get grants for. We could reutilize for other town functions, and our town board is not doing their job. They seem to be absolutely not listening to the town residents. And these proposals, one after another, how many referendums does this town have to say we don't want to cut up the country club for housing that doesn't belong there and doesn't correspond to the type of residential zoning that's in that neighborhood? I don't live in that neighborhood, but I totally think it's inappropriate that people in that part of town, in residential A, should suddenly have something thrust down their throats. And it will also, zoning is set by Preston. You know how many other parcels in this town, which now at some point could become distressed, could be opened up, and you could start naming them. Mary Mountain Farm, the Shepherd Farm. There's all kinds of parcels all over town that could be divided up just like Woodbridge Country Club if we do that ridiculous proposal. And that is not going to solve our fiscal problem. What we should be doing is developing along Bradley Road properly, and I have no idea why that is not being done and really acted on by the town zoning commission and the board. They could be making it easier for the developers, and we could end up with a lot more tax dollars that actually enhance the town and made a nicer business environment and senior environment in this town. And I don't know what's wrong with this town. It's just not functioning like it has in the past. And unfortunately, when we moved here in 1976, it was like a Republican monarchy. Now it's like a Democratic monarchy, and that's not good. And we have to work together. It should be bipartisan. Our interests are the same. We don't need to have, one party who's totally shutting their ears to the concerns of the other party as well. So I think we better change our ways, or we're going to really be in big trouble with declining property values. I'm worried about my flip house, to be honest, because even though I bought it at very little money, I have no idea what it's going to be able to sell for now in this current market, the way things are going. And people should be very, very disturbed, because in the past, our property values went up every year. And now, for really since 2008, they've been declining.
Hello, my name is Sean Flynn. I live at 124 North Racebrook Road. Observing those Mike's points there, some things came to mind. I just wanted to share some information about. Some of those data points are skewed. I do agree with some of the points that you raised. Property values have declined. You mentioned some properties that were $1 million, now with $500,000. I would guess that those prices stem from the artificially inflated predatory lending market from the late 2000s. all, I mean, assets, values, ebb and flow, and I mean, that's what happens with the market. So, I mean, yes, it's unfortunate that, property values decline, but, some of those prices were artificially inflated. So whether it's right or wrong, that's not going to be to decide, but I believe definitely what some of those examples that you're pointing to. Great.
Cheryl Wilson.
Please state your address.
Brookwood Drive. One comment from Matt, first of all. Matt mentioned certain properties, certain towns where they have a lower, he's negating the mill rates and why they were lower. And he mentioned Guilford, I believe, he mentioned Madison, and Orange. You also mentioned Bethany, correct?
I mentioned
Okay.
36.
Again.
36 mill rate.
Okay, with a 36 mill rate in Bethany, and they don't have any development in their commercial businesses, to my knowledge, other than Billy's and something along there, we have more than that. How come, I think the way to reduce the tax implications for our community, he said if they agreed with what Bill suggested and took some money and moved it this year, what would you do next year? How about between this year and next year, the board works on reducing spending? That's a no-brainer. Next, I'd like, perhaps I'm not reading this correctly, but there are two areas I'd like to take a look at and perhaps comment on. The first one is on page 70 with the Board of Finance. There are contracts up for negotiation. I'd like to know which contracts those are.
The town has two contracts up for negotiation.
Okay, which two are those?
There's a police contract, and there's a town hall contract, which is basically town hall employees, including public works, clerical, dispatchers,
Okay.
and animal control.
Okay, thanks, Tony. I noticed that in total employees, I guess I didn't get to that page, 32 policemen in our town. Is that correct?
That's the total staff of the police department. That includes dispatchers, clerical, and other support staff. That's not sworn personnel.
Then I misunderstood because I thought the dispatchers were a separate line item.
The dispatchers are in the police department. They're separate unions. I'm not sure your question.
Well, I remember when the total police force in our community was 27, and there was some discussion as to whether or not we were going to have one more.
So it's actually less now. It's
less?
The sworn police.
25.
25 sworn.
And then, so it's 25.
25 sworn, 6 dispatchers, and 2 clerical.
You really need, I mean, I don't know, I'm asking, you really need 6 dispatchers? I don't know, I'm just throwing it out.
24-hour operation.
Okay, thank you. And what about page 122, employee benefits? That's a lot of money. Retirement, is there anything that can be adjusted in that? This has been discussed a while ago. It keeps coming up. Isn't there anything that can be done with that? Sorry.
All I can say is we're currently in negotiations. I can't comment on it.
Or you can't. Thank you.
All right, Is anybody else interested in making a comment? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. You have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. The meeting is adjourned.